Step inside, my friend. Shake the dust of the world off your shoulders. I've just brewed a fresh pot of tea. It's simple, just herbs from the meadow and spring water, but in this moment, it is more precious to me than the finest vintage in a palace. Tonight, I want to talk to you about a word that has been stolen and redefined by a world that has lost its way: wealth. We are told from the moment we can speak that to be wealthy is to accumulate. To have more numbers in a bank account, more bricks in a wall, more titles behind a name. We spend our best years trading our life force, our precious, non-renewable time, for pieces of paper and digital shadows. But have you ever noticed that the people with the most stuff are often the ones with the least peace? Tonight, in the golden glow of this cabin, let's rediscover the alchemy of true wealth. Let's talk about the riches that thieves cannot steal and market crashes cannot touch. True wealth is not about what you possess, it is about how much you appreciate. You can own 1,000 acres of forest, but if you never walk among the trees, if you never feel the moss beneath your feet or hear the song of the thrush, you are poorer than the wanderer who owns nothing but has the eyes to see the beauty. Possession is a burden, appreciation is a liberation. Most of the world is property rich but presence poor. They own the world but have no time to inhabit it. I want you to start measuring your wealth by a different currency, the currency of enough. When you realize that you have enough air in your lungs, enough warmth in this room, enough curiosity in your mind, you suddenly become the richest person on earth. Poverty is not the absence of money, it is the constant, gnawing hunger for more. Until you find satisfaction in what you have, you will be a beggar even on a throne of gold. Think about the things that actually make your life worth living. Can you put a price tag on the way the light hits the mountains at dawn? What is the market value of a deep, honest conversation with a friend who truly hears you? How much would you pay for the feeling of clean sheets after a long day, or the smell of rain on dry earth? These are the dividends of being alive, yet we overlook them because they are free. We have been brainwashed to believe that if something doesn't cost a fortune, it isn't valuable. But the most exquisite experiences in the human journey are those that require no transaction, only your attention. Attention is the ultimate capital. Where you spend your attention is where you spend your life. If you spend it all on the pursuit of more, you are bankrupting your soul. But if you invest it in the now, your wealth multiplies beyond measure. I remember a man who visited this cabin many years ago. He was what the world calls a success. He arrived in a car that cost more than this entire valley, wearing a suit that was as stiff as his posture. He sat where you are sitting, looking at his reflection in the tea, and he wept. He said, "Christopher, I have everything, and yet I feel like an empty room. I have the keys to many houses, but I don't feel at home anywhere." We sat in silence for a long time. I told him that he had spent his life building a golden cage, and now he was upset that he couldn't fly. We began to strip away the layers. We talked about his childhood, the simple joy he felt carving wood, the way he used to love the sound of the ocean. He had traded all those useless joys for useful assets. He had become a master of the price of everything and the value of nothing. True wealth, I told him, is the ability to fully inhabit your own skin. It is the freedom to say no to the rat race and yes to the soul's quiet call. There is a sacredness in simplicity that the wealthy often miss. When you have less to protect, you have more room to expand. When your life isn't cluttered with the maintenance of objects, you can maintain your inner garden. This cabin is small, yes. My tools are old. My clothes have been mended many times. But look at the richness here. The fire gives us warmth and a show better than any cinema. The books on these shelves contain the greatest minds of history, ready to speak to me whenever I wish. The silence is a canvas for my thoughts. If I had a palace, I would be a servant to the palace. Here, I am the king of my own peace. Wealth is freedom, not the freedom to buy whatever you want, but the freedom to be whoever you are without the need to impress a world that is always looking for the next shiny thing. We live in a culture of conspicuous consumption, where we buy things we don't need, with money we don't have, to impress people we don't like. It is a collective insanity. Break the cycle, my friend. Start a wealth journal, but instead of numbers, write down moments. The way the tea tasted tonight. The sound of the wind in the pines. A moment of clarity during a difficult task. These are your true assets. When you stand at the end of your life, you won't be thinking about your portfolio. You will be thinking about the moments you were truly awake. You will be thinking about the love you gave and the beauty you witnessed. If you have a wealth of memories and a heart full of kindness, you have won the game of life. Everything else is just luggage you have to leave at the gate. Consider the legacy you are leaving. Most people think of a legacy as a building with their name on it or a trust fund for their heirs. But the most powerful legacy is the quality of your being. If you walk through the world with peace in your heart, you enrich everyone you touch. If you offer a listening ear or a gentle word, you are distributing a wealth that never depletes. You are a billionaire of the spirit. The world needs your presence more than it needs your productivity. It needs your light more than it needs your labor. Tonight, as the embers pulse in the hearth, I want you to take an inventory of your true riches. Look at your hands, they can create, they can comfort. Look at your mind, it can imagine, it can understand. Look at your heart, it can love, it can forgive. You are sitting on a gold mine, and you've been looking for coins in the gutter. True wealth is also the ability to be alone without being lonely. If you are good company for yourself, you are never poor. Many people buy things to fill the silence, to distract themselves from the emptiness they feel inside. But that emptiness is actually a vast, open space waiting for you to discover it. When you make peace with the silence, you find that it is filled with a different kind of music. You find that you are part of a grand, cosmic harmony that has nothing to do with bank balances or social status. You realize that you were born into a royal family, the family of life itself. You are a child of the stars, an heir to the wisdom of the ages. How can you be poor when the entire universe is your backyard? So, as you go to sleep tonight, let go of the anxieties of making it. You have already made it. You are here. You are breathing. You are aware. The alchemy of true wealth is the simple shift from I want to I am. When you are content with being, you have reached the summit of human achievement. The world will try to pull you back down, to tell you that you are falling behind, that you need to hustle, to grind, to accumulate. Smile at them with the quiet confidence of a man who has found a diamond in his own pocket. You don't need their approval, because you have your own soul's respect. You don't need their gold, because you have the golden light of the present moment. The tea is finished, and the cabin is growing cold, but the warmth in my heart is steady. Rest now, my wealthy friend. Rest in the knowledge that you lack nothing essential. You are whole. You are rich beyond your wildest dreams, if only you have the courage to see it. Tomorrow, when you wake up, don't rush to check the news or the markets. Check your heart. See if the sun hitting the floorboards makes you smile. If it does, you are a success. If it does, you are truly, magnificently wealthy. Good night, my friend. May you dream of the treasures that never fade, and wake up to a life that is already a masterpiece.